And here we are. How's that look? Pretty good? I don't know if anybody can hear me. Nothing's
I can
working.
hear you.
There it is. All right. Albert, welcome to February 4th, Tuesday talk, presented by Save 22 and hosted by me, Flyboy. And maybe next week it'll just be Albert. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll have to pull over on the side of the road and do a little live from down there. We'll see what happens. But hey, thanks for joining us today. Here we are. We are live on February 3rd. I'm not quite sure why this isn't working right here on the wrong video. That's why. Interesting. What am I trying to say, brother?
I have no idea. It's been an early morning already.
the
Had some
challenge,
technical issues this morning.
the challenges of live right now, right? Let's see
Yeah,
what happens. Let's get out here.
still learning. That's the problem.
Hey, I think there we are now. Looks like we're on the right one now, maybe.
All right.
White shirt, corner. Yep, there it is. All right. So, hey, I said we wanted to talk about some stuff. You and I were talking the other day about uh, mindset when you first wake up in the morning and how it can affect an entire day.
Right.
And uh, one of the things that happens to me almost every day is my dog, right? Little Dixie. As soon as I start groaning or frustrating or whatever, rolling up in the morning, waking up, right? She wants to get right up into my face and she'll lay her head right here and she'll growl or groan or she'll run all over my face. And you can wake up in one of two ways. You can wake up and be upset that my fucking dog woke me up before my alarm, right? Or you can wake up and go, it's so great that my dog wakes me up like this every morning,
Right.
right? You can be upset that you didn't get to sleep in until 8 o'clock, that she woke you up at 7 o'clock. It's just like having a kid, right? But the way that you wake up first thing in the morning is going to dictate. I found that if I wake up upset with her, my body hurts more, right? I pay attention a whole lot more to how I feel, right? Then if I just wake up and go, okay, here she is, it's time to start the day. She loves me no matter what, so why do I got to be a dickhead about it? If it's going to take me a little bit of time to get out, it's going to take me a little bit of time to get out of bed, and that's just the way it is,
Right.
right? And we beat ourselves up so bad over why can't I keep going? What's going on? And I just want your perspective on how you start your day because you go through the same type of stuff that I do, right? Body parts don't seem to work. Some days are better than others.
Yeah.
Um, the numbing, the tingling, um, the self doubt, the self frustration, the self sabotage, right?
Yeah.
Like we were high speed, low drag, bro. Like we just kept going, kept going, kept going, kept going, and now it's a little different. Like we don't have to do that. So that's it's a whole battle. It's a whole battle inside our own head. My Marine buddy Tim Hanley just texted and said, "Damn Air Force running late." Hey, I
As
was
always.
I was well within my TOT time of it was
Yep. Yep.
switchology problem right here, man. I was
Yep.
just on the wrong video, Timmy. But thanks for bringing
Y-
that up. But yeah,
And
go ahead, Al.
yeah, Link just chimed in and said, too much, too fast, just like any engine, it'll wear on you. And he's right.
He
You
is
gotta take care of your engine. You cannot put
right,
oil in it. You cannot maintain it. You cannot do all these things. And what used to be jump out of bed and go is
right,
not happening anymore. For me,
right.
it's just a pain every day of stepping in that first step. Of what's it going to be. Cane's right there by the bed, just to have it. I grab it every morning. Just you just don't know.
Where's my balance going to be as I walk to the bathroom?
Right. Am I going to
I
get
got this.
dizzy? Am
Yep.
I going to feel this first step? Am I not? Is my ankle going to do what I need it to do? Like, and it's a process every morning. It is. It's 15, 20 minutes just to get moving. And I know that now.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, we know that now.
and there's days I do wake up, I'm mad because I can't just go. Um, it takes time. I know that.
Yeah.
So I already have to have that mindset of today I'm going to have to slow down. I'm going to take it a little easy, and move on. Tom just says he hasn't jumped in a while. Yeah, I bet. And it just you have to have the right mentality every day. You do. It can either be
It's hard.
I I can't use my leg, I can't do this, I can't. Or you can get up and say, well, today's not a great day, but I know I can at least do this, or I'll try that, or I'll try this. And if that doesn't work and I can't do it, you know what? There's nothing wrong with sitting down and saying today's just a bad day. It is. And you can have
Josh,
those. We need to allow ourselves to do that.
yeah, Josh
And
has a good point. Johnny and I, or he said you can, you just choose not to, and that's what Tim said last week too, right? I
Right.
can go work on my car, I just choose not to, right?
Right.
Well, the same thing happens inside our own house, and especially as we're getting older and we're getting, um, yeah, we're getting older. I mean, that's just all there is. That's the reality of it, right? There's
Yep.
certain things that we're going to go through that are just going to be different. And hi, Carrie, and
I carry.
Carrie joined in. There's just certain things that are happening, and whether it's like the tips of my two fingers, like what the hell's going on with
Right.
why don't the tips of my two fingers work? I don't know. Well, they're whatever, right? All right, well, adjust, right? Because I can't quit, right? I
Right.
can't quit. Um, you get stuck. I can get stuck on, all right, these two fingers aren't working right, or I can and go sit and play video games. Trish was gone all weekend, um, on a girls' weekend, and I had Friday evening, all day Saturday, and then Sunday till about, I don't know, 11 o'clock noon, right? So Saturday morning, I get up and I think, man, I'm gonna do nothing. I'm gonna drink coffee. I'm gonna play some video games, watch sports, and not worry about it. And that lasted for probably 35 minutes. And I said, no, I gotta go do something. There's too many things cluttering up my brain that I can accomplish, um, and I can get them done a lot quicker with her not here. Not that she bothers or gets into me or anything like that, but my brain is too focused on what I need to provide for her that day, right? Because I'm a people pleaser. What am I doing with her here? If she ain't here, I'm rocking out, and I rocked out till 7 o'clock that night, 7:30. You know, built put a shelving unit thing together, painted a wall, built a shelf. Cut some wood down, played in the garage type shit, and and then was tired at 7:30, and that was okay because
Yeah.
I worked out, I did things right for so long. We on active duty or wherever we were or whatever we did, we forewent, at least I did. I didn't take care of my body while I was in, right? I didn't go to the gym for an hour or two every day, right? I didn't stretch like I was supposed to. I went every 6 months and did my mile and a half and 50-50, and I was good to go because I could still do it. I didn't have to prepare, right?
Right.
You have to prepare now, right? Because you didn't prepare for 30 years, you have to prepare now,
Right.
right? And if you're not going to do that, you're going to be stuck in the same rut. And
Right. Right. And,
you
and
know,
even think about it, John, all the times of deployments, right? You had time. You had time to get your stuff together.
yeah.
You had time. It wasn't a go right now. And I think we put that mentality on ourselves
Well, no,
of
we
we got
were
to go
prepared.
now.
We were
Right.
prepared. We
Right.
had that go bag, right? I had 90 days of shit packed in my
Yep.
in my in my
Yep.
closet. It was a duffel bag and what they call them other ones,
Well,
C
ours were,
bag,
we call them A
A bag,
bags.
A bags, and they were ready to go,
Hmm.
right? And every 6 months you went in and checked them, and you went through it, and a lot of us thought, I'll just keep the minimum tidy whiteys and call it good.
Right.
And but I was ready to go because everywhere we typically went, we had capability after a couple weeks to get what we needed. So, if you kept that kind of mindset, but you lose it when you get out for whatever reason, I lost it. I
Yeah.
lost that preparedness. I lost that confidence. I lost that I know what I'm doing thing because I had a book and
Yeah.
and all this other stuff. And man, it takes a while to get back into it, man. It
Yeah.
it really did. You
Yeah.
and I
And,
talk about that a lot.
Tom brings up a good point. He says, my body hates me after chair yoga, but I'm doing it. And I can attest because I've done the chair yoga.
It's hard
And it,
stuff.
it is. You laugh at it because you're like, chair yoga, how hard can that be? And again, it's a mindset. You know it's gonna suck, but you know that the end result is it helps. And if we do all these little things to help, and you get this mindset, and you start stacking these little things, next thing you know, you have this built-in support where you are ready to go. You know, so you don't have to struggle, stress. It's a standing joke around here. If I have an appointment down at the VA, which is about 35, 40 minutes away, I leave an hour and 15 minutes early every time.
Good.
And it's a me thing. It is. I
Right.
don't like to be late. I like to be on time. I like to be ready to go. I like to have that minute or two to chill out outside before I walk in. It's again,
Preparedness.
it's being prepared. It's having the mindset of the expectation of the day. You
Yeah.
know what to expect, or your self-set expectation. And we've talked a lot about expectations.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've
You
talked
know,
a lot about expectations. I'm sure that'll come up. And you know what? It'll come up right now because uh, Tiffany, my daughter, right, our badass Air Force Thunderbird, woohoo, go Thunderbirds, which they're out training at Edwards right now. I think they're doing 2 or 3 weeks out there. They're pulling some pretty tough days out there, getting
yeah,
ready for their first show at Daytona, the Daytona 500. They're going to do the flyover for the 500. Actually, I'm going to be down there meeting with some people, and we're actually going to hold a. I just got off the phone with the commander, maintenance commander, and
good.
the first sergeant. And Save 22 is going to make themselves available for the Thunderbirds and their families at that event that for that entire weekend. We're going to have a shift change luncheon type deal, right?
Yep.
Where we just make ourselves available to these guys. They're going to spend and gals. They're going to spend about 270 days TDY this year, and it's going to be with a maximum of like 5 days in one spot. And it's hard. It's hard on the families. It's hard on the active duty members. So Save 22 just want to let them know that hey, it's okay. We get it, and we appreciate everything that you're doing, and we want to give you a little respite, right off the
Yeah.
bat. And
Yeah.
yeah, I see the chat. I see the chats over there.
I
They,
see the
the
chats too,
chat,
and I'm
I
just
see the
smiling and
chats too.
laughing.
But hey, that's a great thing that Save 22 is going to be doing. A captive audience. We're going to be able to talk to about 250, 300 people that weekend. That's not even including what we're going to do at the racetrack or who we're going to come in contact with and things like that. So, hey, if you see me walking around, if you're down at Daytona, you see me walking around with Save 22 shirt on, stop over, say hello. We'll be down talking with Ryan Roulette at some point in the ARCA series. We're going to stop by and see Mike Harmon in the Xfinity series. Unfortunately, we're not taking any extra veterans with us this year. We're going to just kind of team up, I guess you'd say, with the people that are already there, and
Right.
we're gonna utilize the resources already available to us. So, hey, congratulations to the Thunderbirds. Wish them nothing but luck and success. I know they're going to be awesome this year. So let's do that. But again, we'll talk about preparedness, right? That's a thing that came up on short notice just by talking, but we didn't jump into it. You make the right calls, right? So those calls have to be who's in charge of where you're going to be and what you're going to do. You have a mindset when you leave early for that VA appointment, and you know you think you know what to expect based on your experiences in the past, regardless of how many good ones you've had now. I was just talking about this with Tiffany this morning. She sent me a video about a guy complaining about the VA system and what's being done right now. And two things that caught me. One, he was talking about somebody else's experience, not his own. So I didn't put a whole lot of credence with it, right? And it was a second, third, fourth person type scenario. And and then the next one was he's talking about cuts and hiring freezes and how people were waiting in line to start a job and at the VA and they were turned away. And first of all, that's incorrect. That's not how that works, right? That's not how you get hired by the government. That's not how you don't go stand in line and wait at the door to walk in on your first day. That's not what happens, right? So don't listen to that stuff. Hey, Miles is on. What's up, Miles?
What's up, Kyle?
Hey, buddy. Boy, he's gonna have some big news here in a little bit, isn't he?
Well, yeah, we'll keep it under wraps for now, but
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll keep it under wraps.
big things could
Miles,
be
thanks
happening for Kyle.
thanks for joining us. Well, he's already done big things. That guy's walked across the country, so
Yeah. Yeah, and if you guys don't know, go check out Miles Killinger on Facebook or 300 Miles because he's my brother. Um, This cat here literally
Insane. Psycho dude,
ran
man. He's
from
insane.
San Diego, California, I believe, all the
Yep.
way to Washington D.C. And I was fortunate enough to be in Washington when he got there. So, um, yeah, much love, Kyle. That's stand up, man.
Hey, we got another one joining us, Whiskey Pete. That's my boy right there. Pete,
Awesome.
thank you for joining on, man. I'm so glad. I just talked to Pete this morning. Pete's a musician. He does some stuff around Northeast Ohio. So glad he
Oh,
could join. Yeah, Marine dude, right? He's not as crazy as most of those
why do
Marines
we
we
keep
know.
attracting these
I don't
Marines?
know. I don't know
Why does
why
that
we keep getting
happen?
all these Marines. And then you got Miles and Tom over here talking daddy daughter stuff. I don't know what they're doing over here.
Oh yeah,
Got
yeah.
what they
They have a
got.
love hate relationship.
They got their own crap going on. But yeah, preparedness, making your mind right before you walk into that, and I can attest that I think you and Jason talked me into going back to the mental health at the VA. Was that last year going through that shit with my dad, or maybe it was a
It
year
was.
before? And my
Well,
very
actually, it
first,
would have been
I think it was like
early.
2 years ago or
It was
early
2 years.
24,
Yeah, yeah,
early 24. And I said no. I don't want to do it because my last experience there was uh, my last experience there was 5 days later. I had a pistol in my mouth, and I was very uptight about them and the people that I had seen and the people that I talked to. And man, I walk in the door this time, and there's like 6 or 8 suits standing in front of the damn door. They're clustered, meeting by the door, not paying any attention. There's two older veterans behind me stumbling in with a walker and a cane. These guys don't even move out of the way. And you know me, I'm going to be loud, like, excuse the fuck out of me. Like, hello,
right.
pay attention, right? So I check in. They send me over to the other side of the VA to be called back to the other side to go, right? I got to walk through these people again. I sit down in the office, right? It's like 3 doors into the hallway, and it was the intake meeting. And I'm like this, right? I'm shaking, I'm tense. Like, what is this woman's first words gonna be to me? How, like, I know how these people. I'm ready, right? As I start talking, they start holding a press conference out in the hallway. Like, they're loud. There's like 6 people talking back and forth, and this is a mental health hallway in a
Yep.
veterans hospital. And I saw the intake lady. She was like, "I'll handle this." I go, "No, you won't. I'll handle this." And I got up and I opened that door and I go, "I don't know who the fuck you people are, but this is a mental health hospital. This is a mental health hallway. There are veterans in here trying to get help, and you're out here holding a press conference. I don't know who you guys are, but you need to get out of here and go hold your shit elsewhere." This little dude, I can say that. This little dude walks up to me and says, what's your name?" And I go, "You don't need to know my name, but I know who you are, and I know what you're doing in a VA hospital, in a mental health hallway, interrupting uh, therapy." I said, "So you can. This isn't the way you need to handle it." "Nope, sure isn't. But this isn't the way it needed to start either, right? So let's think about that. You want to blame me and my PTSD? How about you look at what you're doing in a mental health hallway
Right.
while veterans are trying to get therapy?" So that goes down. The lady comes in. I'm still shaking. She goes, "Well, clearly." I go, "Yeah, yeah, right." Like, that's just stupid people, man. And she goes, "I agree, but let's talk about what led you to that." And she puts everything down, right? Let's just talk for a minute. Now, these intake appointments are supposed to take 30 minutes and you're done.
Mhm.
I met with her 3 times, right? Like, she cared. She gave a shit.
Yeah.
And then sent me over to Jessica, who, by the way, left 60 days after I I met her, and got her
Way to
and got
go.
her yeah and got her own. got her own private practice, but she's doing great, and I'm very very happy for her. We still remain in touch, but um, those are the things that can really put a just put up a roadblock to any type of good experience you think you want to have
Yeah.
at an appointment. And
Yeah.
you taking the time and planning that to remind yourself that A, this isn't that last appointment, right? B, this is for me. What do I want to get out of this? Right? And C, I don't know what kind of day those people are having in there. Right?
Right.
So I can go in there with an attitude and be pissed off, or I can go in smiling and happy as best I can and try to keep in mind that they're going to see 100 people that day. They're probably tired of people with attitudes and nothing's working and all these things. So I can contribute to that, or I can try and make them smile for 5 minutes and maybe I can get something out of this, right?
Yeah.
Let's stop looking at what they're doing to me and let's look what I'm doing to them, you
Right.
know?
And I went through just a similar thing here, and we've talked about this, how happy I am with my new pain management. Last pain management was not very proactive. Every appointment you go down there, exactly what you just said, here we go
Yep.
again. I already know the expectation for today. It's going to suck. They don't do anything. I'm just showing up. I'll get my little 10-minute treatment and down the road
Yeah.
you go. And that's what it was. Well, shift changed to this new provider, and she is phenomenal, man. And I've talked about just the changes that I feel
Yeah.
with the medication changes, some of the equipment that they've updated, changed, the new TENS unit type deal, getting those myofascial releases, getting the stretching therapy, getting all that together, and walking into that first appointment, like, here we go again, right? And I walk in, tiny little lady, and she's like, "Hey, honey, how are you today?" And I'm like, "I'm okay. How are
Okay.
you?" Like, this is
Right.
different, you know? And then, attitude just instantly changes. And she's like, "Okay." And she did the same thing. She put everything down, sat back, and what do you need? What do you want? What are you
Right. What do
looking
you
for?
want out of this? Right.
Yeah, yeah, and again, mindset,
Right.
right? Because
Right.
I'm going in with the old mindset, which wasn't going to work with this, and it. I'm very happy where I'm at with her, the treatments. So again, having the mindset, because exactly what you said, and we say it a lot to each other. We don't know what everybody else is carrying around. We don't,
No.
and
No.
everybody, I promise you, everybody has something.
Everybody. Yeah.
And it may
Everybody's
and
got
it might not
something.
be and it might not be bugging you today, might not be bugging you tomorrow. Like it's like yesterday, you know, I had to jump off the phone with you and go help Pops real quick. Had a garage
Yeah.
door spring that broke. And he could have, it was 1 year for my mom. He had a lot going on. Could have been mad at the world, could have blew up, could have went a different bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
But again, he's probably the most level-headed man I've ever met in my life, and just takes it and looks at it and like, okay, well, let's get the car out, get the garage door shut back down, go ahead and call it, like nothing changed. It just
I want to talk about that because I want to talk about you because I was on the phone with you when that went down,
right.
right? And you mentioned it. You skimmed over it, right?
Yeah.
You want to talk about it real quick? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, Albert, you just mentioned that your mom passed away a year ago, right?
Yep.
Like the anniversary of it was just last week, and I gave you your space, but I reached out that morning and I just go, look, man, I'll whatever you want to give me, I'll take today. Just
Right.
just remember that it was a year ago, and
Yep.
let's move on. And not downplaying anything, right?
Right.
Owning your emotions for the day. Yes, it hurt. Yes, it was painful. I'm probably gonna cry. Um, but today is today.
Yeah.
And then dad chimes in. Hey, I got to take this. It's dad. And you get back on and you go, well, dad's garage spring broke and he tried to open the door. Now, what in the hell is he trying to open the door for? All I'm thinking is, Albert, he's not going to ask for help unless he tries to open the door. right? Right. So let's just admit it, because we would
Yeah.
both do it.
Right.
We would both do it. So, you're going through that, and the first thing you tell me is no big deal, right? No big deal. I got a guy that lives in the neighborhood who's a
Yep.
retired garage door installer, and he
Yep.
still does it on the side. So I'll
Yep.
just call him. And what I want to highlight on that is us in the past when we were younger, when we were drinking, when we were using our pills, we were looking for things to take our own edge off instead of our own brain. Um, we would have flipped the fuck out and said, "I got to go right now. I got to go fix Dad's door." But you can't get any traction when you run like that. And
No.
you took a second, you called me right back, and then in that second, you were like, "Oh yeah, I know a guy. Oh hey, I'll just call him." And I'll go hang out with Dad. He's okay. The car's out, right?
Yep.
You analyze the whole situation. It's going to get fixed. It might suck for a minute, but it's going to get fixed.
Right.
Trust the process.
Right.
So why can't we
Yeah.
trust the process in our own selves? We think we can fix ourselves in fucking 1 day or 1 minute or one therapy session or whatever, man. But it,
Because
it doesn't work like that.
our expectation for ourselves are so high.
Oh, they're they're ridiculous. There's that expectation thing, right? That self-sabotage, that
Yep.
self-confidence, that
Yep.
that
Yep.
expectation of others,
Yep.
right? So I struggle a lot with expectation of others. And that is that I say something one time or twice and we agree to it, I expect it to be done. I don't think I have to follow up on it because I don't want anybody following up with me, right? And then I
Right.
get upset. Well, uh, we're gonna start putting this fucking thing in another room during the live.
Mine's silenced. It lights
You
up,
know
but
what?
that's it.
That's what we'll
That's
do.
just it.
We'll go to
Yep.
where's the do not disturb?
Yep. You taught me that one, so then I've been setting it up every night. 9:30. It
I'm done.
goes
Yeah.
to except for the ones that I have that can come through, and that's kind of it.
I guess I should change that live will begin. We'll, we'll do that way. We'll
Carrie
put that
says
one up there.
calling out the emotions is the first and hardest step. Mindfulness.
Ooh, calling out the emotions. Yeah, yeah. That's facing those emotions,
Yeah.
right? Because for so long we didn't know what they were.
You and I specifically,
Yeah,
maybe Tom now too. Time.
time.
We have time to sit and stew. We have time to sit and think about all of the emotion. We have time to sit and think about all of it.
The negatives, because that's where our
Right.
brain goes. All the
Right.
things I could have done better. All the things I
Here,
could have done
here's my
different.
expectation for the day, and I can only get to here.
Right.
That's it. That's all I got. So what do we do with this?
Yeah. Am I going to be upset that I can't get this extra bit? Am I going to be mad at myself? Am I going to put myself down? Right? Or am I going
Right.
to look at myself and go, like I take my own fucking advice, right? If my 100% is 50% today, then 50% is my 100,
Yep.
and I should
And
be
Link
good.
and Link just hit it. Just let it happen.
Yeah. What am I going to do? Right? What am I going to do?
Like I've been preaching, you and I offline have talked a lot lately, and one thing we always go back to is the expectation of what's the expectation, what can we really do,
Right.
where can we really get objectively, like what can fit for where we are
Yeah. What's your capacity? What's your capability?
in everything, life, save 22, job, work, family, all of it. what what
Hmm.
what can we have to give? And I think Link's right. You just need to let it happen, not
Let it
overanalyze it.
happen. Yeah.
Yep.
Uh, the capacity, the capability thing, that's a personal deal, right?
It is.
Nobody can tell you what you can and cannot do, right? Or can and cannot accomplish. I love it when somebody tells me I can't do something because then I'm just going to go do it,
Right.
right? and it's going to take quite a bit, and I'm going to get very mad and frustrated and upset. And you guys said I couldn't, and now I'm doing it, and now you're mad and fighting me for it. Well,
Right.
okay, well that's on me, right? That's me taking you and allowing you to control me, right? That's a tough one. That's a
It
tough one.
is.
That's a
It
tough
is.
one. We talk about why are we so easy? Why do we take someone's criticism so easily when it's someone I wouldn't take advice from? Right? Why do
You've said that before. Yeah.
I've said that a couple times because I do it a lot. I do it a lot. I take criticism from people that I would never even ask advice from, or that
Right.
aren't even in my life, but a couple times a year. Why am I letting my brain focus on what you just said? You don't have any idea what goes on over here, right? You don't
Right.
have any idea what goes on at this desk or in my own head or the 85
Yeah.
phone calls I had yesterday
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So I can't let people like that get, and you can't, and nobody can. We can't let
No.
that shit bother us, right?
No.
That's what I think that's the people pleaser built into all of us because we just want to be accepted. And I've said it a million times. I never felt like I fit in when I was in the military. From growing up to the Air Force, I never felt like I fit in. I felt like I was more driven, more um, focused. I just like I didn't have friends.
Right.
I didn't think I had friends, right? And you and I have
Yep.
talked about that too. I don't know how to feel, right, or accept gratitude, love, acceptance. I don't know that those things, and
Right.
that can stem from a lot of shit. I don't know, right? It can stem from a
Yeah.
lot of things, but it's all the bottom line is it's all in our head, right?
Yeah.
It's all in our head trying to be a
Yeah.
people pleaser, right?
Right. Yeah. And a lot of that too, in my opinion, is, you know, again, self-sabotage. I'm not
Self
worth it.
sabotage. Yeah.
Not worth it. Why are these people doing this? What do I need to worry about? What's the ulterior motive? Like all of it. It just starts stacking, and you're like, okay, but maybe this person's just honestly, hey, how are you?
Look
Right?
at Carrie Ann, John Y. Carrie Ann just texted John
Yeah.
Y. But
Yep.
sometimes there is no Y, honey.
Mm-mm.
There, there isn't one,
And that,
but
and
I've said this too. The happiness you're looking for is in the work you are avoiding. And I
mhm.
don't remember where I heard that some guy. Um, but it's true, right? If you want to be, if you keep looking at something and it keeps making you unhappy, well then can do something about it.
Right.
And then you're happy about it. So if
Yeah.
the clutter on your desk is making you mad and upset, do something about the clutter on your desk. I'm not going to show you my desk right now. I'm not
Yeah.
going to show you my. I'm bothered because they called out my fear. Wow. Okay.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Look at her
Ooh.
putting that to
That's a
use, huh?
boy. I like that one. Yeah. Yep. You're right. You're right. I remember walking in the first meeting at the AA meeting, scared to death, and they called it out. You're right. They did. They called me out on it. Right. Don't worry. You're in the right place. I must have looked like shit walking in there. I had to have shaking, sweating, nasty, but
Not
um,
much has changed.
no, not much has changed. Pete said, "The more you try new things, the more you try." You're not wrong, Pete. You're not. And um, if you're uncomfortable being uncomfortable, then go be uncomfortable.
Nothing changes if nothing changes.
Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you're sitting in your house for fucking 2 weeks in a row because the weather's shitty, and you don't go outside on a 60-degree day in the middle of winter in Ohio, that's on you, bro. Right? That's on you.
Yep. I like
Or
what Link. Yep. There's three good ones right there that just popped up, man.
what's that?
Corey Taylor, when we're having the conversation, and he said you have to at least try it twice.
You do
if
have to
something,
try
if so-
twice.
yeah. And then Kyle, printing out the email for somebody that said he wouldn't make it across the country. I'd frame
Putting
that,
it
Kyle.
out on my desk. I'd have kept that thing in my pocket and go, all right, Jack.
I'd
And then
frame it
I'd
and
have
put it
showed
on the
him,
wall. Yep.
when you walked into Arlington, just like this.
Yeah.
I made it. I made it.
Yep.
F you, Jack. You know,
Yep.
F you, Jack. I
And
think
then
that's what a lot of us do, man. A lot of us
yeah.
take, we start latching onto that negativity and we forget what awesome shit we've already done
And then Tom, it's hard to take gratitude, love, and appreciation because you're not used to it.
because you're not used to it. You're right. You didn't get it at home. You didn't feel it at home, whatever it was, right? And then you left. A lot of us left. A lot of us made up our mind early to go to the service. I got to get out of this house. We don't know why, but we're leaving, right? And then we figure it out later on in life, and that can be scary, right?
Yeah, and
That that's
and I'm sorry,
good.
like for me, the early decision for the military at 16, it was 16. Um, Coming to this country from another country, having a dad that was in the service,
Right.
being a military brat, moving here and there. Um, then when we finally did get to America and finally settled in Ohio, and watching how things were compared to where we've been, um, Italy, Germany, Fort Huachuca, then end up in Ohio.
Interesting perspective, isn't it?
It is. And, as I was getting older and I'm, not that I didn't want to go to college, not that I didn't want to
Hmm.
go to trade school. I just felt that it was the right thing to do to want to give back to the country that not let us, but well, yeah,
Took took you
allowed
in.
us,
Yeah, let
took
you
us
come
in.
back in.
Yeah.
Right. It was
Um,
because of
so,
what your dad did.
right,
Right. Your dad
right,
had to do that work.
right,
There were things that had to happen for mom to come over.
right.
Right. And it's not as easy as people say it is, but your dad had to do the work. Right. So he
Yep,
had to do something to get you and mom back here.
right.
Right.
Yeah. So, for me, early decision was that. And at 17, I can remember telling my mom, you know, either you sign now, or when I'm 18, I'm signing anyway. So I can either do it with you or without you. So, like, I'd really like to do it with you.
Right.
so,
Right.
so yeah. And then she did. She agreed to it. So I'd signed up at 17. Yeah. Did delayed enlistment, did all the fun stuff you do before. So
I went to MEPS 4 times. Four
once
times before
once
I
was
got
enough. Once
finally
was
put
enough.
in. I must have really wanted to go. Let's see what's Carrie Ann saying here. Carrie Ann's in school for this. Yep, we know. Good
Yep.
for you, girl. It triggers you when you are bothered by others. It does.
It's a
It
defense
trigger
mechanism.
it is. You are
Yeah.
100% correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we know this, Carrie. We talk
Yep.
about it a lot.
A lot.
um, for us, and I'm for you and I when I say us, John, because I know you. Um, our defense mechanism is instantly isolate, shut down, get away.
Right. Right. Isolate, shut down, and get away. It's great. Um, it's a horrible defense mechanism.
It is. It's awful.
It puts you in, oh my God, I'm wrong. Oh my God, I did it wrong. What's going to happen to me now? And the reality of it is not a fucking thing.
No. And
Not
and
a thing is going to
and,
happen.
and 7 times out of 10, probably 8,
And a
probably
half.
9. It's not that monumental as we make it.
It's not. It's not. It's not. We put it up. We build it up to be this ginormous fucking thing in our head, and it's really not that hard because you're putting in the work,
Right.
right? You're doing it, right? And I remember dealing with this or helping this one young lady, just a just a shit fucking situation. That's all. Just a shit situation. And it was I could hear it in her voice that she felt like she was spinning her wheels, right? She'd get a couple days ahead and she'd fall back down. And then that would stay that way for a couple 3 weeks and then it would come back up and then she'd go back down. She'd get back up and come back down. And it finally culminated in a 72-hour hold. And her daughter called me and said my mom wouldn't go unless we talked to you first. And I thought, man, wow, what what's going on that's that monumental, right? That's happening that much. And then I thought back to my own self. Do you know what put me over the edge? The little thing that put me over the edge? My wife called me a dick. That was it. You've been a dick for you're sober for 8 years. You're still a dick. When are you going to change?
Right.
A word, a comment, a 30-second argument, right? A temporary bullshit. My wife calls me a dick every day. Why did that day bother me so much? Right? And you never know what's going to put people over the edge, right? So
Right.
you talk about being triggered. We see that. We Albert and I can see that in people for whatever reason. We when we were sitting at
The
where
VA
were
was
we?
a good one.
There you go, the VA with the big guy, right?
Yeah.
The big tough guy coming in and
Yep.
very vocal, right? Very look at me. Um, Not what I was doing, but just very loud, right? And he went in, did his appointment, come back out, and he sat there for what, 40 minutes, 45 minutes crying.
At least
We
he just
we got to
broke
him.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, we broke down, and it was us. We were listening to our story through him
Yep.
of keep going, keep going. If I don't do it, nobody will, right? My kids count on this. I got to keep doing this, keep doing this. And I think what got him was I looked at him and I said, "Do you think if you can't produce a painted wall or whatever it was, if you can't provide that for them, if you can't fix something, that you're going to be less of a man for them?" I think it was something along those lines, right?
It was.
And then my next statement was, how what are you going to do for them when you die from a heart attack next week, right? Because you're pushing yourself and you're not taking care of yourself, right?
Yeah.
And when you and I talked about it earlier, you have to prepare, right? Like the day.
Yep.
And you and I both know if we don't stretch, and it could be as simple as this. My little arm
Yeah.
tingly thingy is a vertebrae in my neck that um, is bulged and it pushes on a nerve. But if you sit back and you stretch and you do it the right way, you can feel it pull that apart. And if you do it enough, the tingling lessens, right?
Right.
Again, preparedness. Now, I don't have to do this all day, and it's not going to take me an hour to do it. I can do it while I'm sitting here. But I know I got other shit to go do today,
Right.
right? So, again, and a little bit of acceptance can go a long way,
Right.
right?
And if you remember that conversation, there was another gentleman that was standing there too that happened to be a Vietnam vet
Oh, yeah.
who was my uncle.
That's
and
right.
he
Your uncle
started
came.
and he started talking
Yeah.
to that guy as well. So having that generational gap for that particular moment, why it happened, how it happened, I don't
Don't
question
know.
anymore, man. Don't know, doesn't matter.
Nope.
But to see my uncle
Hmm.
open up like that, that was pretty cool too.
It is. It is. And we, Save 22, need to understand the impact that we do have
Right.
as an organization, but also as an individual, right?
Correct.
All the volunteers that come out to these events with us, all of them have an impact on somebody at those events. Every single one of them.
Yep.
It's not just Albert and and I don't want anybody to think that that's the case. We we know that somebody benefits every time we go out. Somebody
Yeah.
does.
Incarceration was still the one that, you
That one
know,
gets you. That one
the,
gets you.
the group of individuals we had the last event that we had there, um, to watch them out, we all came together. Hey, what do we do? What are our left and rights? How far can we go with this? What are we allowed to talk about? All that, just be real, right? That's what we told them. Just be real, be you. Next thing you know, you look out and there's literally 5 people, say 20, walking around the crowd, just talking to people, handing out cards, pamphlets. Next thing you know, they're walking back with people. Like it was one of those events that that one sticks with me.
That's a good one. I like it. right? It's
Yeah.
because we're not just sitting around waiting for somebody to come talk to us. We have our struggling, let's talk about it t-shirts. And, we had a lot of people come up to us and just go, man, I love your shirt.
Yep.
I love your shirt. Can I just give you a hug? Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. What's up? My name's John. Who are you?
Yep.
Right? Start the conversation. Why did the shirt come to you? Right? What spoke to you about that? And just start those conversations. And you never know who you're going to impact. You never know who you're going to meet,
Yeah.
right? And the stories that you're going to hear and how incredible the human being, the individual human being are, right?
Yeah. It you know, I, another one that happened in Ink. And again, there's just so much packed into that 4 days, man. Link and I were together. We decide we're going to go over to side stage and try to watch Mushroom Head. Um,
Yeah.
and we're walking up on stage. We see Skinny and Jackie and some of the other band members, and hey, how's it going? Haven't seen you guys. Hope everything's good. Can we help out? What do you guys need? And we're like, oh, we're just coming over to watch. All right. Well, we had met one of the security guards over at the Taylor Foundation. Made friends with him. He was having a minute doing it by himself, and Jason and I, and you were there too, Brandon. We ran up and just kind of
Yeah.
smothered him with hugs, and he started hanging around a little bit more. And hey, if you guys need anything, let us know. And all right,
Yep.
well, let's answers no unless you ask, right?
Answers
So
no
we
unless
go
you
over
ask.
to Mushroom Head to the stage, and we're coming up the back, and Brandon's like, go on up and talk to the guy up there. He's a vet. He'll take care of you. So Link and I go up the steps, start talking to this guy, and Link had it, or I had it maybe. Knew he was a vet. You could tell tats and everything. So I think Link gave him a coin, to thank him. And the guy looks down at the coin and he's like, "Don't move, don't move." Dude takes off, runs down the steps, comes back up, maybe 2-3 minutes later, and hands us special warfare pins and two patches.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You don't know how bad I needed this." Right? So how many of those things have happened to us or individuals through your lives where somebody says, "I needed that," right?
Right.
So
Right.
again, everybody has something.
Everybody has something. Everybody. I hear so many people say, I don't feel like I did anything, right? I don't feel like I contributed. I didn't do anything. Well, let's talk about that then. What did you do? That let's talk about that.
Yeah,
Because what I see right now is a guy who volunteered or a gal who volunteered and maybe went and did some shit that they hadn't planned on doing, but they did it anyway,
right.
right? And my guess is actually the proof is in the pudding. You did more than 99% of this country's done for this country, plain and simple.
Yep,
You packed up, you left, you went, you did it, you came back. That's the bottom line. That's the
yep,
bottom line. And that's better than 99% of this country did. And you
right.
need to hold your head up for that, right? Now, do you want to get into the nitty gritty of it? We'll get into the nitty gritty of it. But if you don't hold your head up for volunteering and going to do that, I, I can't help you.
Are you
You have,
listening to yourself?
I am, I am. Fuck you. But it's hard. It's hard, right? Because I never felt like I did
Yeah,
it, right? But now I look at my daughter. Now I look at the things that my daughter does, and I laugh and I giggle and I cry because I did those things, right? And I hear my words come out of her, and I get so mad because she's not taking care of herself the way that I think she should because she's doing the same shit that I did. Hey man, I popped my shoulder yesterday. God damn it, Tiffany, really? Yeah, but it'll be all right. I took some Motrin. We'll be okay. God, you know,
yeah.
like PT said I got to stretch. Well, then you better go stretch because I'm telling you right now, if you don't, you're going to wind up like this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And, that part's frustrating. And, oh, I don't know what we were talking about. Taking
All
our
of
own
it.
advice. All of it.
All of it.
All of it. Who's on our chat right now? Oh, Jan Williams joined in. Hi, Jan. Thanks for joining. Jan is newly retired and reached out the other day and said, I need a purpose.
No problem.
No problem, sweetheart. What do you got? Let's
Yep.
talk.
Yep.
So, Jan Williams is gonna Jan right here on Safe Tuesday Talk is gonna help us. Right, she wants to reach out and she wants to join in and do some behind the scenes admin stuff for Safe 22. So Jan, thank you for volunteering for helping out with us, man. Looking forward to having you on board. Yep, three under the bus, put you right out in front of everybody, and now I'm gonna hold
Yep.
you accountable, sweetheart.
That's how it works.
Tom said
Yeah,
he's got to go poop. Oh no, that's Pop. Pop
Pop.
off. I thought he said poop.
Yeah, he's checking on Grandpa. So,
Oh, all right. Well, good luck to Grandpa. Thanks for
yep,
popping on, Tom.
yep. Kyle
Hey,
had to get back to work. So,
yeah. Hey, everybody that's on, I want you guys to know that we had probably 14 viewers one time at this time, and that's the best. You know, we're at 3 weeks, still no push, right? No advertising, no anything. There's
no,
no schedule other than every
no,
Tuesday at 10 o'clock. And I literally
the
called Albert
plan.
last. Yeah,
That's the plan.
that's the plan. We'll see how it works. But yeah, I reached out last night. And I just go, bro, I got something we can talk about, and it started, and here we are. We've been all over the place with a bunch of stuff, and I love it. I think it's great, and we got people joining in on the chat, people contributing. Josh in the background throwing stuff in, still giving us pointers, and
Yep.
Miles joining. He had to go back to work. Um, it's great. It's great. I love it. This is pretty cool. Just what's going
Yeah.
to happen when we figure out how to work this thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What is going to happen once we actually start looking like we know what we're doing?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, what else you want to talk about? What else we got going on?
um, there's just we could yeah, pinky in the brain. Let's take over the world, Link. um, I don't know, man. Like, there's just, we're getting ready to have our first meeting of the year to kick off the year for Save 22 and like start
Yep.
getting some scheduled events out. We know that May 3rd is our hike in Masson, Ohio. We know that
Yep.
for sure. Um,
Yep.
we know that March 1st we have in South Carolina, we have our first veteran car show. Dale Long and Only Fords and 843 Mafia or Mopars. They're going to have that for us. So, and that'll kick off the car show season down here in the Carolinas. We've got Daytona coming up. We've got a golf outing coming up in late November, December in the Carolinas. Got some fishing opportunities, golf opportunities. Make sure you follow along on all the socials at Save 22. I don't know, man. It's just I think it's going to be a good year this year. I just
It's it is. It is. I
yeah.
think we're going to be great. I think we should talk about this with Countersteer, right?
Oh yeah.
We were asked by Countersteer to come down. I'll put their link down here in the floater there. Countersteerlife.org, a nonprofit out nearby Charleston. Did I say that right?
Uh,
I'd have to
I
go look again.
I'd have to
But
look too.
Yeah, Countersteer Veteran Experience. They take road racing to the dirt on motorcycles, and uh, you and I are actually going to go down and experience this, and then hopefully form some sort of partnership where we can, get other veterans to come down there for some
Right.
diversion therapy. It's a 2 day deal. You and I are going to be down. I think we're taking Jason with us, and they're talking about this is a buddy of mine that I served with in Korea some 30 some years ago, right? Dave Cryer, and check out his countersteerlife.org. But we're going to go down there. We're going to have a little meeting, start out with, whoever wants to do some riding. We'll do some intros and whatnot, engage what folks want out of this event, right? I really challenge you, or really want you to go look at countersteerlife.org. It'll tell you what they're getting in their weekend. Um, then they'll break out into some smaller rides, and if you want to learn some skills, Dave teaches them. Dave was a road racer on some big stuff. I distinctly remember weekends in Korea with him and a 12 packer or something, and we'd watch. Oh, I can't remember the channel that we watched over there. AFRN, Armed Forces Network. Is that right?
That's what it
And
is.
we'd
Yep.
we'd be watching Wayne Rainey and Kevin Swans and all those guys riding superbike. Valentino Rossi when he was coming up on 125s way back in the day. Uh, yeah, just some Wayne Rainey. Did I say Wayne Rainey? Kevin Swan? Yeah, I
You
did.
did.
Yeah, things like that. And Dave actually sent me a video after we left Korea. He got to drag his knee one day on a bike, and he got that puck all dirty. He thought he was pretty special, man. So good for him. We'll have some brother time, I guess,
Yeah,
some camaraderie, right? A little bit of riding. We might do some
yeah,
camping. I don't know yet. We might stay at a hotel. I don't know. We haven't figured that part out yet. But check out countersteeredlife.org for their veteran experiences down there. Um, yeah. And we'll get back to you probably in April and let you know how that weekend was for us.
yep, yep. That's March, last weekend of March, I think.
22nd, March 22nd.
Yep, yep. That'll be a
March
good one.
22nd and 23rd. Oh, we had a phone call with Walleyes for Wounded. We'll put Walleyes for Wounded up there, right?
Yep,
Walleyes for Wounded has invited us to join them at their veteran events. They have 3 veteran events this year. April 3rd through the 6th, it'll be up at Camp Perry. They'll have about 24 heroes, they call 50 people total. And Bobby Henline is going to be there with his wife. If you don't know who Bobby Henline is, I challenge you to look him up. Incredible veteran, comedian. Got pretty, got some injuries. Got some injuries, right? He's got his own story. He uses humor to get through it, and he helps a lot of veterans with his story, right? He's just an incredible human being. I know he struggles, like we all do, right? But he's a tough cookie, man, and
yeah,
it's going to be a good deal to have him up there.
yeah. We had
Um,
an opportunity to meet with him down here in Myrtle Beach at Top Golf. He put on an event at Top Golf, and that's the day we was driving down to the event, and unfortunately, my mother-in-law took a turn for the worse that day,
yeah.
so uh, had to divert that meeting. But very cool guy, very very straightforward, and he
Yep.
does use humor to deal with his injuries, which is quite comical and quite dark at times. But I love it. I think it's
But
funny.
that's who we are,
Right.
right? I mean, that's who we are. Look at Travis Mills, right? Travis Mills is
Yep.
only the second quadruple amputee to survive, right?
Right.
At the time. Now there's like 15. Um, but his story is man, just listen to him. If you get a chance to go talk to Travis Mills, just
Yep.
go listen to him. And again, same thing, humor, right? One of the first thing he comes out and says when I saw him was, I told my wife she could leave after I woke up and we saw, and he's like, look, you didn't ask for this. Just go ahead and leave me. Take the kids. I'll pay the whole self-loathing, self-pity thing, right? Get out of here. You don't need to be part of this. You didn't ask for this. And she leans into him and goes, "Are you kidding? And give up handicap parking? No way." Right?
Right.
Like like what a perfect response, right?
Right.
Like that's when you got your partner,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
And
man,
yeah.
how incredible. And he'll go to shake your hand and his hand will start spinning and he'll go, "Oh, sorry, wrong one." And I mean, just you got to have that kind of stuff. And
Yep.
I'm sure he struggles when he's by himself, when he's alone, and he puts on his face when he's out there, and and that's all we can do, right? I
Right.
mean, we're all gonna struggle, right? We're all gonna feel less than adequate. We're all gonna feel less than perfect. We're all gonna feel like we screwed up. The question is, what are we gonna do with it, right?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with that?
Right. Yeah. And again, it goes by
So
right back to what we talked about at the beginning: attitude, expectation, and
expectations,
mindset. What's your
right?
mindset? Like his mindset is way different than ours, I'm sure, or maybe it's the
Yeah,
same. Because I think right there's a problem we all do.
we
He's worse
compare.
off than I am. So obviously he's got a lot more to. Maybe don't know.
Maybe don't know.
Right. The assumption we put on ourselves and the expectation of somebody else is way worse than we are. Not all.
Yeah.
We need to stop with that.
We do. We do. You and I both do it
Yeah.
a lot. A lot. We downplay our own injuries, um, and look at other. We compare, right? And I know you've heard it 1,000 times. Comparison is a thief of joy, and
Hmm.
that's in everything, right? Whether it's
Right.
good, bad, indifferent, whatever. I don't care. If you're comparing your situation to somebody else's, you've already lost. You've
Right.
already lost.
Yeah.
because their situation is nowhere near yours. Now, the emotions, the feelings, the circumstance might be the same ish, but you can't compare it,
Right.
right? Your upbringing, your perspective, the line of sight, your where you were standing, what you were doing, your job at the time, what it's all different. It's all different, a different
Right.
perspective. I talked with here's a good one for you. You want different perspectives? Go back and listen to Jason talk about his experience on the first day of the war, right?
Yep.
And then go back and listen to Matt's story on the third day of the war,
Yeah.
right? So there, the comparisons, they're not there.
Yeah. And for people
Can't
who
do it.
may not know, same area, same dirt, same sand. And to have two different perspectives from two different spots is
Right.
it's unique.
It is very unique. And I don't know, can I say that, on my old podcast, Straight Talk, that, that's where you'll find that stuff? You
Yeah.
know, I
Yeah,
guess we
sure.
can. Sure, we
It,
can.
why not? It's where it's
Why
at.
not? That's where it's at. It's on Straight Talk, right? So
Yep.
look us up, Straight Talk Podcast with Johnny Mo.
Right.
And there's some stories on there with, Link just said, yes, I can. Thanks, boss. That's our business guy
Thanks,
in the
Dad.
background coming in
Yep.
on the private chat. Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So, there's plenty of stories over
pulls the
there.
curtain open, sneaks his head through. Yes, you can. And goes right back away.
Yeah. Thanks, Link. Go back to your, what do you call it? Go back to your wizard duties.
Yep.
That
That's funny.
is
But
funny. That is
going
funny.
back to having that person, right? And I
Yeah.
look back, you know, when I got hurt, laying in that bed
Hmm.
and having, Natalie do things she did and not knowing if you're going to walk. And, I can't remember what I actually told her. You don't need to do this. Why, it was never even a doubt. You know what I mean? Like it just happened, and,
I do.
you think about all that stuff and then you're like, man, she literally took dead skin off my leg, like, and you know what I mean, like healed wounds, in and out of wheelchairs, in and out of walkers, all the miles driving to and from therapy and from work and coming at her lunch break and bringing me back, all of that. And then I got to be a dipshit and worry about a purse on a counter.
Yep. Hey, the coffee pot, bro.
Perspective, right?
Perspective, right? Perspective. So yeah, let's talk about that for just a second. We get so self-centered, right? Look what I did. Look what happened to me. What are you gonna do? Right? And the
Oh,
expectation of others, right?
yeah.
Why the fuck would you move the coffee pot when everything is in line right here? It looks perfect right here. Functionally, probably better over there. Aesthetically, I like it right there. Functionally, it's better over there. So she just moved it.
Right.
And I flipped. I flipped. And she was straight out, right? Look, man, if you're going to be a dick today, just leave.
Yep.
Just leave.
Yep.
Go run into somebody else who needs help, questioning how their son was acting the night before, and is there anything they can do? And bam, perspective changed. It was just a fucking coffee pot, John.
Yep. Yep.
Just a coffee pot. There's so many bigger things out there, right? There's so many bigger things out there to worry about than where my coffee pot goes,
Oh.
right? So, yeah, it's crazy. Link sent us a picture of your wings or that car, that thing that. Oop, that ain't working.
Oh, okay.
I think I got it right here, so I can put it up, and it should load. And there it is.
Yeah,
That's
there they are.
that
Yep.
guy's stuff, right?
Yep. That's yeah. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing the amount of people we meet just by being Safe 22.
Yeah.
You got to hand Jelly Roll a Safe 22 coin.
Yeah, yeah. I actually had a probably 5 to 10 minute conversation, uninterrupted. He took time. We had got him a coin earlier through Rio, who sings for Made to Rise. Used to be Madison Rising, changed to Made to Rise, and um, he got in with Jelly Roll, got the coin there to him first, and then we were able to get backstage. Thanks to probably Sasha, if I remember
Hey,
right.
Sasha, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. And he come down off the stage, and I was right there, and had the shirt on, and he kind of looked and was like, "Hey, man, what'd you think about the show? Did you like it? What could I do better?" He asked me, "What could I do better?"
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah,
"Nothing. Like you were fantastic, right?" And then we
right.
just had a conversation about what we do, some of his struggles, and thanked us for what we
Yeah,
do, asked where we were at, asked if we were on site, asked where we were, out of. And I told him, and, just had some good conversations. So, was it staged? Was it him being him?
why are you
I'd like to
questioning
think
it?
it was him being him, you know?
Right, it is. Of all the things that I've seen about him, I think
Yeah.
he's legitimately that way.
Yeah.
Right.
And, same thing with like Jeff Hatrix of, Mushroom Head used to be. Then you
Which, by
think
the
of,
way, all prayers and love
yeah,
to Jeff
yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
please.
For those that may not know, Jeff lost his wife less than a year ago to cancer. Found out that Jeff is battling cancer himself. He's an ulterior medicine guy, so he's been doing some ulterior treatments. Yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah,
Jeff's been around us since the beginning because you know Jeff from growing up.
I do. I do. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
he's always been around, always supported, always, even though there's distance
Quietly.
now between us, it's,
Yep.
you still get the text, the messages, phone calls every now and then. Um, oh, Link says there's pictures of in teams. So
I don't. Yeah, I don't see him yet.
yeah, but
I don't know where
it's,
he sent him.
and again, it's just people you meet like that are just
Right.
normal, everyday people, man. And like, again, we put that expectation of, they're so big, like how could they take time to want to talk?
Yeah. Yeah.
How many people did we meet walking through the areas where we weren't probably supposed to be, but we did, and nobody said a word?
But we
Like,
just got there.
how many people, band members come up to us wailing from a killer's confession, like walking over, right, with Bill Bailey when we were back there with Bill, wailing, coming over and just saying hi, having those conversations with Jonathan Davis through Jeff, like just meeting, and all of these people with all of these things happening, and seems to have like the world just at their fingertips, right? And they're just like us, man.
Just like us. Just like
Yep.
us. Here, I'm
Drug.
throwing some. I'll be
Yeah.
throwing some pictures up here in just a second. Um, why is that popping up over there? I don't like that. Stop doing that. You talk about who we can meet. You have a big part in me diving into Save 22, and I think you know that, right?
Yeah.
You called me up and you said, "Hey, let's go to." Hey, Josh, if you can find that pic of me at Mid Ohio with the big smile pointing at the camera, I'd like to bring that one up. If you can find that, let me know where that is, real quick. But you don't know what's going to happen unless you step out of that box. And
Right.
we've got these pictures coming up of people that Albert has met and things that he's done and people that he's talked to. And right here's him and Jeff. There's
Yeah.
Albert and Jeff, and we got this one right here with Al and Jelly. And you can just see the look on Jelly's face that, man, you're touching me, right? Like you've connected with me with what you're doing, and
Yeah.
that's pretty incredible stuff. And of course, we all know that we've got Corey Taylor and the guys and things like that. And my story with Save 22 and motorsports, we got started out there at Mid Ohio. Just I was scared to go. I was afraid to leave my house. Like, what could I possibly get out of this? I've never been around open wheel cars. I'm a stock car guy and a dirt track guy. I didn't I never did any Indy car stuff. And Albert's words to me were, "Bro, just go have fun." Right? Because I thought there was some expectation. What's the expectation of me to go there? And he goes, "Bro, take your gloves, take your boots, go watch, go just hang around. I know who you are. You'll get involved somehow. You know what? You're not wrong." So I went. I said, I'm going with my wife because I'm not comfortable going by myself. And this is what, 7 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. And
6 or 7 for sure. Yeah.
oh, there's my fire bottle award. um, and I ended up being hired. Like they hired me to go wrench on the car a
Right.
few weeks later, and it's just like how, right? Like, how, well, I'll tell you how. You number one, you got out of your house, right? Number one, you got out of your house. Yeah,
You're putting it up.
there it is. I put it up. So this fire bottle right here, these guys made it to me. This is the Johnny Moe Award at Mid Ohio a couple years ago. I had I had worked on these cars quite a bit. I had done a lot of things with these guys. I wasn't a mechanic for them at the time, but we were there at the racetrack, and I think there was a delay or something. Or we were trying to hurry up, and they said, "Get the car warmed up." So I reached in, and for whatever reason, I hit the fire bottle button and not the engine start, and I blew the fire bottle. Well, we have like 10 minutes to get Hayden into the car and out on the track. So I have to rip the seat out, put this new fire bottle in, get Hayden back in the car, put everything back together, and get him out there. So we do it. I'm cracking up. I feel so bad. I'm just embarrassed beyond belief. They do a drivers meeting, and as you can see, there's probably 15 or 18 drivers over here. And in the middle of this driver's introduction and fan thing, they call me up in the middle at Mid Ohio, and Iggy Six Motorsports gives me the Johnny Moe Award for firing the fire bottle. Right? I mean, just it's one of those things. I think it's on display down at Carroll County Vets Club, or it's on display somewhere as a veteran Safe 22 thing, right? Just really cool. Hayden Bowlesby, Clark Bowlesby, the whole Bowlesby family racing. They are in the FR America series. I think they're moving up to F3 now. F3 and F4. They've got a couple cars in their stable, run by our veteran buddy Jonathan Hilderman, right? They love to get veterans to the track to help out. This is a driver development series. So the drivers have to bring in their sponsors and then they pay for the use of the car, is how that works. But they're always looking for some funding to try to offset those costs for these drivers. And Safe 22 has been able to help out with that in the past. And hopefully we can get something done this year to help out a couple other young drivers get into the season, get that experience. But they also take veterans to the track, right? They take veterans to the track to wrench on the car, to be part of the car, part of the team. Give them that camaraderie, that brotherhood that they may have been missing or may be missing, and give them that feeling of, yeah, we accomplished something. And Hayden's an up and coming driver. I think he's about 20 now. Is he 20?
He might be 21 now. He might
He
be
might
legal.
be. I don't know. He might be legal, but he's been driving cars since he was like 6.
Right.
Some crap. And his dad's a Navy veteran, um,
Yep.
business owner, very successful business owner, built it by
Yep.
himself and his wife, Heidi. They are incredible people. Let's try to get this picture off of there somehow. But that's one of them. So my experience with with the program is unique. Obviously, we don't expect everybody to go do one program, get hired, go racing, and then start a podcast, and then all of a sudden become president of Safe 22. That's not what we're saying, right? What we are saying is just get out of your box,
Yeah.
right? Get out of your box. Stop doubting yourself,
Yeah.
right? You did it at some point before. You can do it again. Um, it just might be in a different capacity,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So,
And how many times have we heard once you get that vet family, first responder family to go to do something and they get done with the activity, the event, whatever, and they tell you afterward, man, thank you. You don't know how much we needed that. I needed that. You don't know what this means to me. You don't know where I was at. Like, and exactly
Share
what you
that
said.
share
You're
that story about
challenging.
Vegas.
You're, huh.
Ha, do it. You can do it. Come on.
Uh,
There's one of the Iggy 6 cars right there. It's a Formula 4 car, Formula 3 car, open wheel. What's the word I want?
I don't know. I'm lost.
Not like a claim series. It's a everybody has to run the same thing, right? It's a
Yeah.
J chassis. It's a Honda motor, right?
Right.
Honda transmission. There's only certain setup things that you can do to it, right? So
No
pretty
competitive advantages.
yeah, real competitive thing. You can see right there. You got Save 22 logo on the side. This Will Holtz is I think he no, I'm not going to comment because I would yeah, I'm not going
I'm
to
not,
get it right.
yeah. Yeah.
But hey, you talk about impact and and down the line, right? And how many people one person can affect. Go ahead and tell that story about Las Vegas if you don't mind.
Yeah. So we're in Las Vegas with Lex June. We had 20 total veterans, first responders, and families show up for the race weekend that weekend. Um, and so we're getting a ride from the parking lot over to Lex June, and they're not supposed to take you to the actual pit. So if you've ever been to an NHRA event, they're they're kind of lined up in rows. So in other words, you go to row one, you got to go all the way down to the end to get to see all, and then you walk row to row to see the pits. So this younger kid, I see a tat on him, Air Force tat, and I'm like, oh, when did you serve? He goes, well, I'm still active. Standards have changed. I wasn't used to like the light beard and the little longer hair, and I'm like,
Right, right.
okay.
Yeah,
So
things
he
are a
says, no,
little
I'm still
different
active here
now.
at Nellis. I'm in Red Horse, and I went, oh, cool. Red Horse is like the CB of the Air Force that
Red
they
Horse
built.
goes in. Red Horse goes in with weapons and machinery and builds you a damn airport. Right?
Right,
They go in
right.
before anybody else. They
Yep,
build everything for you.
yep.
They're pretty badass.
Yeah. So we're talking to this kid, and I said, you know what, man? He went above and beyond. He picked us up with a phone call, with a text. Hey, can you come get us? Come back, got us, took us where we wanted to go. And he's not supposed to be doing this, but he did, right? So I give him a coin to thank him, and give him a card, and he just stares at it and immediately just starts going. And he told me that they lost 5 active duty out of their unit
Yeah.
last year alone.
Yep.
So I don't know where that's going to go this year.
Yeah.
He wanted us to come out this year when we come out, and he was going to try to work with command about getting us to talk to their unit.
Yeah.
So, but to hear that story, like and this kid couldn't have been much more than
25.
24, 5-ish,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
And to hear 5 active duty committed
Hmm.
suicide
In
is,
his unit. In his
yeah,
unit.
yeah.
Right. And they don't report active duty suicides.
No, they
Once
don't.
you guys know that the active duty suicides aren't reported to on the suicide numbers in America. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. Um, there was another incident you had too, and I don't remember where it was, where a child came up to you and said, "Thank you for giving me my dad back."
That was Daytona.
That was Daytona a couple
That
years
was
ago.
Daytona. Couple, yeah, it's been more than a couple now, but Mike Harmon again got us to the track, and we were watching, and Army guy, and did some private security work too for one of the bigger companies. Been through it. He showed up and starts smiling right away. Meets Mike Harmon. Guy's been a NASCAR fan his whole life. Knows Mike. Knows the story of Mike. Mike's, being Mike, sitting right there on the tires, like just chilling. And I
Yep.
walked up and I said, "Hey, Mr. Mike, how you doing?" And he goes, "Hey, buddy, how are you?" And I said, "Hey, I'd like to introduce you to somebody." And I introduced them and just watched them interact. And you could see like just the change happen. I'm watching this little boy like just looking up at him, and then we actually go up to one of the viewing platforms, and the Thunderbirds are up there. watching. We just happened to catch this just right. So we
Right.
walk up, yeah, and next thing you know, little boys up there with the Thunderbirds, and they're doing their thing, and we're taking some pictures, and all that jazz you do, right? And end of the day, we're coming down and we're saying our goodbyes, and this little boy, I don't know, he must have been, I'm gonna guess, 7-ish at the time. He just runs up and grabs my leg. I was like, and I look down and I'm just kind of like, hey, buddy. And he's like, looks up and he's got the tears. He's like, thanks for giving my dad back. Yep.
Yeah. So you think when you ever doubt yourself, we've had an impact, and we say, just give me that one more, right? I
Yep.
just want to impact one. Um, the bottom line is that the harsh reality of it is, if you impact one, you've probably impacted 10, right? Because
Yeah.
that person's attitude changes. Look at my own family. Look at your own family, right? Look at how much we've changed. Um, wow, what's going on with the pictures there? Why are they so?
I don't know, man. It could be a program. It could be on the, backside of it.
Oh yeah, it might be a little bit delayed.
Yeah.
Anyway, look at your own family. Look at my own family, and the thing, how we've changed, right? Our own perceptions, right? Our own understanding of ourselves, our own understanding of our journey, right? I mean, that's what it is,
Yeah.
right? It's a growth thing, right? It's an
Yeah.
evolution thing. It's a God thing. It's a Buddha. I don't know. I don't know. Understanding our own purpose, why we're here, what we're doing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but I know what makes me feel good, and that's making other people feel good. So,
Right.
I know where I was. I know where I don't want to be again, and I want to keep doing this
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah. And for us as an organization, speaking from the business side of it, right? A lot of things you say are applying to us right now. We've always just one more, just one more, just one more. Well, our one more we thought was coast to coast, top to bottom, bring it all, right?
Nope.
We
Nope.
don't, we don't, we're not to that level. We're just sadly not. Now,
No.
do we have reach across the country, top to bottom, left to right? Absolutely. Do we know people? Absolutely. Are we able to get help? Most of the time,
Probably.
yes. Probably yes. Um, but what we've started talking about is, how do we get really good at what we do? So
Right.
we are very good at peer-to-peer support. We are very good at aligning people with other people. We're very good at it.
Yeah.
So why don't we do that to the best of our ability, still keep these programs in place that we have, and just kind of shrink everything down, And like Link says, we are part of so many coalitions, so many partners that we can, more likely than not, help.
Right.
And I think over the 10 years, and that's something you and I have talked about offline, is 10 years.
10 years. 10 years, man.
That's that from starting literally on Tom's small, tiny kitchen table,
Hmm.
having that first like meeting of, okay, we social media, okay, hike, okay, this, okay, that, and getting shocked of 1,200 people showing up and had no clue what we were doing.
Oh,
None.
yeah. We like to say we don't have any clue what we were doing, and we were an accidental nonprofit, but there's nothing accidental about this. It's 10 years, guys.
It's 10 years. So we have grown, we have expanded, we have done all these things to provide all of these things for so many people across this country. And I don't think we, as individuals, volunteers, and people involved with Save 22, give ourselves enough credit for what we have done collectively.
Hmm.
I think that's important to get that out there, that everybody knows that this isn't one person, it's not two people, it's not three or four. None of this gets done without support. None of this gets done without volunteers. None of
Right.
this gets done without any of it. And
Hmm.
for us on the business side to step back a little bit, refocus, Okay, what can we do to make this better? What can we do? I'm approaching 55 here real quick. You know,
Yeah.
as my grandson gets older, I would love to be able to step back and say, hey, younger guy, here it is. It's all set for you. Just
Yeah.
run with it, right?
Yeah.
That's where I would like to get at some point. I know we're working towards that goal. Um,
We are. We
so
are. We're getting there.
again, we owe everybody a big, big, big thank you. So
Yeah.
bear with
We
us. Things are coming.
yeah, we all need to sit back and go look at what we did,
Yeah.
right? From an idea to a meeting to a walk to I don't even know how many events. Josh would have to look this up, or how many people we assisted last year, or how many contacts we made, or what. I mean, you alone did 500 at Mustang Week,
Over
right?
500. I had over
Yeah,
500 veterans
right.
at
And that was just
Mustang.
Mustang Week,
Right.
right? And then you've got me with my traveling with the the air shows and
Yep.
the racing and
Yep.
the direct impact of taking 20 or 10 guys to the track. How many do you talk to outside of that area or while you're there that don't get logged, and how many people we've Josh just says thousands a year. He's not wrong, right? We've had an impact on thousands of people a year here in the local community and all over.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't want to interrupt, but man, you look at Inc., right?
Look at Inc. How
The
many
people
thousands of people?
and how many people that we talk to, hey, where you guys been? We didn't see you. You coming back? Like we look forward to finding you. We couldn't find you. And I'm not talking like one or two phone calls. It's massive,
Dozens, dozens.
massive amounts of people. Why weren't you there? How come you're not? Why won't? Are you coming back? Like so, that tells me, Tom. Yeah, we've done some. You're right. We've done some
Yeah, we've done
stuff.
some shit.
Yeah. So again, I think it's important for us to let people know 10 years. 10
10
years.
years.
I
10
think that's
years.
important.
It
Now we
is.
haven't done 10 hikes because screw COVID, but this is our 10th
Yeah.
year of existence. This is our
The
10th
10th
year of
year.
the idea. This is our 10th year of helping. This is our 10th year of growing. So let's make the next 10, 20, 30, however long this thing keeps going, man. Let's
Yep.
uh let's keep rolling.
Yeah, I think what you said too is very important, right? We have been around for 10 years and it was an accident, but we are not an accident now. We are very purposeful, we are very committed. Um, and like you said, people ask for us. And that's great. The Taste of Mineral Little Car Show, Beach City Car Show, the community involvement. Dennis Fortney up in, man, I can't remember what town he's in, but he wants us to come to a cornhole tournament, right? A
Yep.
community cornhole tournament, and just be there to raise the awareness. And we're his fund or his charity of choice for that event,
Yep.
and it's crazy that's going to be happening. And uh, well, the Air Force and the guy out there in Las Vegas and
Yep.
the connects that we have now, and where could this go, and could we reach others, and could we come this way, and it's a lot,
Yeah.
and we got to keep ourselves grounded, and go back to the capability and capacity thing,
Yep.
right? How much can you or I do out in front, right? Um, how do we bring more people in where Rome wasn't built in a day either? Well, it's been 10 years, Terry,
10
right?
years. I think they could
10
build it in
years.
10 years.
You'd think they got something done in 10 years.
Damn
Rome,
Italians.
Rome also collapsed, just right from inside. So let's keep that in mind too, right?
Perspective.
Perspective. Rome collapsed on the inside after 270 years, I think it was
Yeah.
235, something like that. So we want to avoid that. And, Josh is doing a great job on the business side of it to try to keep our butts covered. And, Matt does a phenomenal job on the accounting side. And we all just get frustrated with it because he's right 95% of the time.
99.9.
All right. Well, don't, he's a Marine. Don't build his ego.
But it's true. It's
It is
fact.
true. It is true. He does. And it's, again, we're trying to figure things out. And I think it's normal that organizations and nonprofits run into things like this. Um, the guys that started it end up being, they're wearing three, four, five hats each. And when it gets to a certain point, we got to say, oh, whoa, 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 hold on a minute. This is more than we bargained for. And I'm not real well versed in this part of it. And who can I get to come talk to? You and I were talking earlier that you got to ask the right people for the right advice, right? And
Yep.
who are you talking? Are you taking criticism from the same person you take advice from? And if you're not, then don't take that criticism,
Correct.
right? And put the people around you that build you up and put you back in your place,
Right.
right? You and Jason are phenomenal at talking to me and getting me out of my head and back on track, right? And I'd like to think I'm pretty good with you and Jason uh,
Yeah.
to do that, right? And I think you need those couple people in your life that can call you out on your bullshit and say,
Yep.
look, you're wrong. You're wrong. That's not what's going on, right? That's not how I see it. Let's try this perspective, right? I had a conversation with I had a conversation with an active duty first sergeant last night, and I think she's going to be a phenomenal first sergeant. I really do, because she said I love to learn about the people and where they're from and what their perspective is. And that is a great quality of a leader, a first sergeant person, right? Who's supposed to be that go between the commander and the enlisted staff. And to have the wherewithal to understand that not everyone's going to have the same perspective or journey to the point that everyone's together at. So they might see things a little different. They might not understand um, your perspective, right? So to
Right.
be able to take that in and bring it in and analyze it all and say, okay, great, this is your perspective. I understand that. I get it. This is our goal. How do we help you get there?
Right.
Right. Right. So I think that's what we're all trying to work into. And you can't be closed. You cannot be deaf to the universe around you. Carrie says they're slow. You know, Carrie's not allowed to talk like that because she's not a veteran. So stop. All right. You can't talk to, well, no, she can. She didn't say anything about Air Force or
No,
Marines. So
no, she
she's good.
didn't. She didn't. She's good. Can you mute Carrie? Yes, we can.
Josh, Josh says I can mute you. Oh, that's great. Well, I like having Josh in the Restream. I like having Albert in the Restream. That's working out well. This is great.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Now we're getting
Yeah. Now
all
here we go into the
right.
bullying.
All right. Easy on the chat, guys. Easy on the chat. No, I think, we can't be um we can't be deaf, right,
Yeah.
to the universe and what's happening, right? And so
Yeah.
often we are only keyed into the negatives, right? We don't hear
Yep.
the positives,
Right.
right? And that's the whole self-sabotage,
Yep.
self-confidence, self thing. Why do we choose to listen to the? It's easier,
And that goes right back to mindset, right?
right?
You can get
It
up that morning and you can start off negative, or you can let the negative things start taking those intrusive thoughts, those negative thoughts, negative, 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 and you can start living that way. Or you can say, oh, that's BS. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't, whatever. I don't even care. Like, I really, truly don't care. I'm going to go on about my day,
right?
and if that's cocky, arrogant, whatever word you want to put, I call it freedom. Like,
Yeah,
I don't want to deal with it. So, you know what? And
I'm
my
not
wife was one that's kind of pushed me to this is like, hey, you just got to start ignoring that. Like, that doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Is it affecting us, the house, or the family? No. And she says, what's it matter then? Who cares? Well,
right.
they're talking about, it doesn't matter. It's
Who cares?
talk. It's who cares? You know the truth.
Hmm.
You know what's been done. You know.
Hmm.
Okay, you're right. I hate you. I love you. And you're right.
Hmm.
Right.
Right.
So, and again, it's all about the mindset change. We can choose to take these things and just build on negativity over and over and over and over and over and over. Or you can allow those negative things to come in, be like, all right, cool, appreciate it, walk away and be like, whatever. Right. And then change that mindset. Like today, I know I have a 2 hour drive, 2.5 hour drive down to Charleston for a VA appointment tomorrow. I know I don't like going into that VA. I know I've got 33 shots coming in my neck. Like, I know it's coming, but you know what? I'm okay with it because I know what the effects are afterward. I know
Right.
I'm going to get about 3-4 weeks of, hey, things are cool. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So again, I could be PO'd the whole drive down, mad at the world. John, it's 74, 5 degrees out, blue skies and sunshine. That's a positive. I'm probably going
Right.
to take my car down. That's a positive.
Take that
You know,
Mustang down. Right.
I'm going to hang with a buddy of mine down in Charleston. Another
Yep.
positive. Like, those are so many. Now, negative is I'm going to get 33 injections in my neck.
Yeah. But how long? How long is that going to take? An hour?
It's usually less than an hour.
Yeah.
Usually
Right. And it's an hour's worth of discomfort for 4 weeks of
4 to 5.
freedom.
Yeah. four to
Yeah.
5 weeks of, hey, I can feel my hands. I can move my neck. I'm not getting the
Right.
massive headaches. Like, it's good shit. Right. So
Right.
focus on that. Even though I know what's coming, I know it's coming. Doesn't matter because I know that I've got all this other positive stuff around me.
Right.
So that's been a really hard struggle for me. And I'm glad that I have you, Jason, all Link, Tom, Riley, all you guys running around in the background. It just helps of that. Like, you got it, man. You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Right. Like, just keep going. Just one more, as Link always says. Just one
Yeah.
more.
Just one more. Just one
Yep.
more. You
So
talk about having to endure those 33 shots. That's a great perspective. I got mad at myself, and I would get pissed off at the VA that the shots only lasted for 4 weeks, right? Because it's a process, right? And it
it
takes
is.
it takes forever in your head to get this relief that you think you need, right? Well, that you deserve, no doubt, right? And then you go through that. It's an hour and a half drive up to Cleveland. You got to have somebody take you up there. You're not allowed to drive back by yourself, right? You think you can go do things when you're done, and you abuse yourself because you're numb, right?
Yeah.
And then you don't get any relief.
Yeah.
But if I were to listen, like I did the last time, when they said, "Don't do anything for a couple days, just be
Yep.
easy." All right,
Yep.
you got your nerves burned, right? RF ablation back there,
Yep.
and I want you to go to therapy. All right, well, give me the therapy too. So I take the shots in a couple, 3 days, and I'm not feeling any better, right? It's not there. Like I was numb the day one, but after that, no, I don't think I like this. This didn't work out right, right? But keep going, keep going, right?
Yep.
I listened. They said it might take a little bit to get relief, right? It might be a few days, it might be a week or two, but you need to do other things. All right, listen. So I go to physical therapy and I listened to what they said, right? And you have to stretch this out because it's dying and that's
Yep.
why it hurts because
Right.
it's not working, so it's dying. So you need to activate it. Hey, guess what? It's fucking 30 seconds to activate that thing, 10 to 20 times, maybe a minute. And you can't find 1 minute when you're walking up the steps to stretch that one little muscle out there. Really? You can't find 30 seconds in the day to sit like this and pull your head back and stretch that neck out, right?
And that,
And
and again,
otherwise,
that goes back to the mindset. We're not worth it. We have to help somebody else. My shit comes second, third, fourth, fifth. So we need to change that mindset of
I got to
I'm
be
not
first.
worth it. Yeah, I'm worth it. I need to take time for me, and I'm going to.
Right. And I think the hard part of that is for so long we were people pleasers,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're a people pleaser. And my problem with me first is I was never allowed to say me first,
Yeah.
right? I grew up Catholic. I grew up as a child of a grandchild of immigrants. A first generation American was my dad, right? And a child is seen, not heard. Dad doesn't talk about feelings or emotions. Dad doesn't have pain. Dad just keeps going. Well, I don't operate that way. I grew
Yeah.
up Catholic. No pride. right? Pride is a sin. Ego is bad. Anybody that talks about themselves is nothing but a blowhard and a narcissist. Um, Talk about changing a mindset when you realize, I think it was James Powers who said the sins of the parents are not the sins of the child.
Yeah.
uh, when that one registered with me, right? Like I don't have to act like my mom and dad. I'm allowed to act like I want to be. I'm allowed to have my own feelings and emotions and dreams and desires, and it doesn't have to align with what mom and dad say. And for some reason, I let myself sit in that I got to believe what mom and dad believe, and I fought it for all them years,
Yep.
right? Well, I have to believe what's in this book. I have to believe this. Nah, I'm not grabbing it, dude. I'm not getting it,
Right.
right? I read Dianetics, I read Buddha book, I read Muslim shit, I read, and I don't mean that negatively. I meant literature. I mean, right, Islam, Tibetan. I read all kinds of stuff. I went to Methodist churches. I went to Baptist churches. I searched all over. I took I don't know how many different drugs from the VA, trying to find what was right. And the bottom line is, I don't know what's right. I know what works for me,
Right.
and that's all I can do,
And that makes it right.
and that makes it right.
Yep.
Right? So it doesn't have to align with what you've believed your entire life, right? Or what you think you thought you were told to believe about yourself or not, and just go do what makes you happy,
Yep.
right? What
Yep.
makes you happy? And you and I had the conversation yesterday. My guilt with doing things is because I don't think I deserve them.
Yeah.
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 Well, somebody else can do it. No, nobody else is doing it. You're doing it. Go do
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Right? And that goes for everybody that's listening, watching, and everything, man. Nobody's going to come save you, right? Nobody's going
Yeah.
to do it for you.
Yep.
If you want it, go get it.
Yep.
Whatever it is, right? Don't listen to the negativity. You need to stay with the people that build you up and suffer with you when you're suffering,
Yep.
right? The ones that call you up when you're about to go into a procedure and just go, "Hey, man, I'm thinking about you. I'll be here when you get out,"
Or show up
right?
at the hospital.
Or show up at the hospital, right?
Or show up
Or
at your house when you're cooking.
or show up at your house, right? Uh, yeah, I've that certain mutual friend right there has shown up and just walked down to my back therapy porch down here and just goes, "Hey,
Yeah.
fucker,"
Yep.
and you find out that he had a feeling that something was going on, so he just wanted to stop by and share his BS with you, so you would focus on him and take it off of you,
Yep. Yeah.
right? Right? That's what friends do. That's what
Yep.
friends do,
Yep.
and I think a lot of us have a hard time realizing what a real friend is,
Yeah.
right? Because they pissed me off. Why they piss you off? Because they tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Right? What did Carrie Ann say earlier? They hit your fear. They nailed your
Yeah.
fear. They
Yep.
called you out on it. Yeah. Well, that's what a
Yeah.
good friend is. That I mean, it really is. Right?
Right.
You just got to be willing to
Right.
listen.
And I really like what Tom said here too. I saw it earlier and just didn't have a second. The negative tools are easier to use. You have to put a little extra work for the positive tools.
It is. It's because that's what you're comfortable doing. That's what you've always done.
Yeah.
You've always gone negative because
Yep.
you're gonna
Change is
lose.
scary, man.
Change is scary. Wait, what is this feeling I have
Yeah.
right now? Like,
Yeah. And then again, I think a lot of it is, you know, like you and I have talked, when I talk about Save 22 and things that are passionate to me, like I get almost defensive of it,
mm-hmm.
right?
Oh yeah,
So if
absolutely.
somebody comes in and wants to change or say something, or I'm like, no, not happening. Nope. That's first instinct, right? But we have to change that. We all do in our lives. Like somebody coming in and telling you something is not trying to change you. It's trying to give you a different perspective, a different avenue, a different view. And if we don't listen and at least try to accept that, I think we're not doing ourselves any service at all. We're not. My wife is you've met her. She's very direct. She will tell me the way it is and not give two about it.
Nope.
None. She
Nope.
will go right at it. And I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that because I respond to that.
I do.
Now, do we go back and forth? Yeah. Are we yelling at each other? No, we're not. It's just a direct way of talking. And you and I have talked about this. How many times have we told you, man, you got to watch your approach, you got to change your tone. Like you're coming at us with that first sergeant voice. Like, You
Soften the
gotta,
delivery.
yeah, you gotta soften that delivery, right?
Right.
Because not everybody is accustomed to First Sergeant Moser coming at you with all the heat. A lot of people don't respond to that. We do very well with that.
Yeah. Yeah. These 5 guys do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not everybody.
Not everybody. So
Right.
we have to make those mental changes as well. Like, okay, where am I? Who am I talking to? How can I talk to these people? And I'm not changing myself. I'm understanding that I can't
Right.
communicate that way with this group because this group is not going to respond back. You put me in a room full of vets, bro, I got it. I'm good.
Right. I
you,
can
you,
communicate in there.
you
I'm
put me in
great.
front of a school where I have to watch and there's different age groups and all this other, that's a little talk. That's a little harder conversation, right? I can do it. It's just a harder conversation. And you have to change the way you have to adapt to things
Yeah.
around you. That's it.
Yeah.
And again, it all goes back to how we started this mindset.
Mindset. I have to laugh because you talk about kids and things being present. I spoke at a high school for the first time uh, last year. Yeah, Veterans Day. Uh, and I think I talked to you about this. Like, I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm not used to talking like this. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I think we broke it down to be simple and just say, because it was, what is a veteran, right? And so many people use those cliche lines, and I don't like the cliche lines. Um, and the principal said, you know, I really want to hear about your story. And I no, you don't. And he goes, yeah, I do. I want you to talk about the alcoholism. I want you to talk about the abuse of alcohol. I want you to talk about the negativity
Mm-hmm.
and the resiliency and how you got back up and what you did and how you did it and what you do now, right? Those are the things that we want to talk about. And as soon as he said that, I was like, you know what? You're right. You're right. That is a veteran. A veteran is someone at some point in their life who did something they did not know that they were going to do, but they went through anyway and they
Mm-hmm.
did it, right? I didn't know I was going to be an alcoholic. I didn't know I was going to have to put down the bottle. I didn't know it was going to be one of the scariest things I ever did. I didn't plan my life out to pick up a loaded 45 and rack around and think, okay, this is it. I'm done. I never thought that way. I never thought that was going to happen. I definitely never thought I'd be a public speaker to stand up in front of hundreds of people at a time and bare my soul essentially of my weakest points,
Yeah.
right? And not be embarrassed by them, right? That's a big thing too. I think a lot of us are embarrassed that we allowed those types of things to happen to us, and we forget that they happen to everybody.
Right.
They happen to everybody.
Yeah.
The difference is, what are you going to do with it,
Yeah.
right? Are you going to stand up and say, "Yep, that fucking happened, and here I am still,"
Yep.
or are you going to be like, "Man, I can't believe I let that happen to me."
Nah.
I'm just gonna,
That's not the road I'm
I
taking.
can't sit there, man. I can't do that. I can't do that. And I did for a long time. I did.
Yeah.
I went to AA meetings for 8 years, right? And I how do I want to say it? It was all about not drinking for me, right? Just not drinking. I didn't understand the the life lessons that you that you can get out of it, right? The first 3 steps: admit your life is unmanageable, right?
Right.
Um, and then 3, give it up.
Yeah.
Give it up. You can do that with everything. Give it up. I don't have control
Yeah.
over it. The
I tell
serenity
you,
prayer, you know.
and yeah.
Go ahead. Get it out,
No,
bro.
it
Yeah,
just,
get it out.
I can't say it enough. It's a mindset. It is.
Hmm.
It's choices. It's all about choices. What are you going to choose today? What are
Hmm.
you going to choose when you're in that spot? What are you going to choose when you're feeling elevated, anxious, mad, pissed, don't want to be?
Hmm.
What are you going to choose? What are you going to
Right.
do?
Right.
A, be all negative. B, be positive of some sort, whatever
Right.
that looks like for you. I'm not saying all rainbows, unicorns, and pixie dust. I'm not saying that. whatever your positive thing is for the day. Hey, it's sunshine and blue skies today. That's a win. I love
That's a
it. That's a
win.
win,
That's a
right?
win.
Now my head's okay. Blue skies, sunshine. Let's roll, right?
Mhm.
So again, mindset, bro. It's all
Mindset.
mindset.
Where are you right now? Right here, right now, this minute, right? Not at 5 o'clock today because it ain't 5 o'clock today, right?
Mm-mm.
It's 10 minutes till
And
noon. What have you
and five
accomplished anything? Have you done anything? Are you good? Right? Do you know
and
what you're doing?
right. And you don't have to do anything every day. You don't have to. And if your one thing for the day is Tuesday talk, guess what? We did it.
We did Tuesday talk. Okay, great.
Yep.
Right? But I'm gonna challenge you to look around, right? Because I'm betting there's probably laundry that can be done. There's
It's
probably
already
a
in the
desk,
washer.
right? There's probably a desk that could be cleaned up, right? An area of work that you did or a piece laying somewhere or whatever. It's never going to all be done. Okay. It
No.
is just get that through your head. It is never going to all be done. The difference is what you do today. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. If
And
you if
Link's
you
right.
wake
Yep. Sorry to interrupt, but he's dead
just
right.
start with
Start with
something
something
small.
small.
No, he's absolutely correct.
A
He
load of
is.
laundry.
A load of laundry, one load of laundry. Well, as soon as I'm in that load of laundry, I look and I'm like, oh shit, I left my laundry in the dryer. Now I got to re-dry this. Okay, well, you know what? Now the floor's dirty because I dripped all this stuff out of here. Going to clean the floor up, and then you walk out and you look and there's dog crumbs on the counter from the dog food when you filled the dog dishes. So you wipe that down. Then you end up cleaning up the entire kitchen. You make coffee pot for the next morning, right? You've set all that aside. You see, whatever you do,
Yeah.
right? It's one thing leads to another. The journey of 1,000 steps starts with the first one,
Right.
and you have to walk one step after the other. You have to put one foot in front of the other to keep moving forward. And you have to apply that to every, if, if you struggle getting started, you have to apply that to every aspect of
Yeah.
everything that you do, right? Especially for guys like me and you who don't have to get up and go to work in the morning. There's no, I'll just say it, there's no motivation for us to get up and go to work in the morning because we don't have to make money, right? We don't have to make money because we are disabled, we're retired, and we're restricted, right? So if your motivation to get up for 35 years was to go make money, you're going to have a hard time waking up when you don't have to go
Mhm.
make money,
Yeah.
right? So what are you going to change your motivation to be, right? If you're not excited to get up and be up in the morning, you need to find something.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty confident it's in there somewhere. But let's
Yeah.
talk to somebody about it. Let's find what it is. If you're stuck in that rut of who you used to be and you're not moving forward on what you can be, whew, we got some shit, Holmes.
Yep.
You got to find something to work on, right?
Amen.
And I'm not saying that you and I every day get up and we're motivated because that ain't the
No.
case.
No.
That is not the case. You see all these guys out there, Jordan Peterson and Gary Vee and Andy Frisella and Jocko and
Goggins.
Joe Rogan, Goggins. They're all
He's on
talking about
another
how
level.
awesome they are. Goggins is another level. If you're trying to
Yeah.
compare yourself to Goggins, you've already lost.
Yes.
You have already lost. But do you know where he started?
Right.
Right? How many people know where David Goggins started? Right?
Yep.
20 something years old, 300 pounds as
Yep.
a bug exterminator.
Yep.
And he said, I ain't doing this no more. I want to be a Navy SEAL. Motherfucker couldn't swim.
Right.
He was 300 pounds. And I think he had 3 months, 4 months to get down to a certain weight to even get in. And he did it. It's a mindset. He's not wrong. It is a mindset. He challenged himself to do something and he did it. And he did it. And you have to do that yourself too. Right? We have
And
to do that ourselves too, no matter what it
and
is.
and all of us can do that mindset. We can.
Every single one of
It's
us has it in us.
not to his craziness, but yeah, we can do it. Um,
And he'll admit it. He'll admit it.
oh yeah, he does.
Oh, absolutely. He admits it. And so does Joe Rogan. So does
Yeah.
Jocko, right?
Yeah.
Like, um, They all admit it. You're talking about these one in a million individuals, right? Well, you've been told your whole life, or maybe you haven't, that you're unique and you're special, right? And then you wake up one day and you realize, I I don't think I'm that special at all, or you never
Yep.
believed it, I guess, right? Well, why didn't you believe it? Did you put the work in to be special? Well, I went to school for 8 hours a day. Great. What'd you do the other 16 hours of the day? Right? Did you go
Yep.
play video games till bedtime and then go to bed, or did you
Yep.
come pick up a book and study some more and get the better grades because you wanted to go to a better college? Did
Yep.
you just get by? Did you get C's and everything was fine? Did you get your rating at work and it says meets the standards, or did you try to excel and do better? Right? What are you trying to do for yourself?
Yep.
Right? It ain't about just going and making money, right? And having a family and things, because the bottom line is at your bedside, who's going to be there
Right.
when you're dying and it's over? Who's going to be there? Nobody gives a shit how much money you made. Nobody gives a shit what accomplishments you have or what medals you pinned on your chest. Whose life did you impact?
Right.
How great was it? Right? Did you help others when they needed help? Did you reach out for help when you needed help? Right? What did you
Yep.
learn? What did you pass on? How did you make it better for the next generation coming in behind you? That's what I
Right.
think the purpose of life is. Let's make it better for the guys behind us, the girls behind
Yep.
us, you know. Man, we've
Yep.
been doing this for almost 2 hours,
I
bro.
know. I know. And we have another business meeting here at in about 5 minutes.
Is it? No, I thought it was 2 o'clock.
Oh, maybe you are right. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think it's 2 o'clock, bro.
Okay.
Let's check and see where Sharice is and see what. Yeah, I think it's 2 o'clock. Yeah, 2 o'clock, bro. Two.
Okay.
We're
Cool.
good.
All
Yeah,
right.
we don't have. I mean, we can get off if you want to get off, but this is kind of fun, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I would like to see if we could get some topics from like some of the people that do tune
I'd
in
love to.
doing
Yeah,
it. If they would email the show at Tuesday Talk at save22.vet, that would be phenomenal.
yeah, guys,
Um,
please email us.
yeah, yeah, and I had spoke with Kyle as well,
Mm-hmm.
Killinger, um, and I think his story would be one that would resonate. So maybe if we can
Mm-hmm.
figure out how to um,
Link him in here.
get him
Hey,
available.
you know what? Here's an idea. You can head that up, and maybe you can take care of that next week while I'm driving.
Okay.
You know, if that's something you
Yep.
want to commit to,
Yeah.
we can look into that. I'll tune in and listen on the way down. You know, yeah, let's work
Yep.
on that. Yeah.
All right,
My,
man.
Kyle Miles Killinger with the because he's my brother. Right?
300 miles. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's
No, 3,000.
wow.
3,000 cross
Yeah.
country.
Well, he started
I,
off as 300 miles because he's my brother, just because he was doing 300-mile runs, then decided, hey, I'm gonna kick it up a notch and put it on steroids.
I'm gonna kick it up and go all the way across the country.
Yep. And then you
I think.
find Van Booth who walked it, but didn't stay in any facilities, roughed it the whole time. Army guy. And then you got Anton from
Dutch,
the
the Netherlands.
Netherlands. He did it barefoot.
He did it barefoot. Yeah,
Yeah. And I hear,
yeah,
there's other things happening in the background that hopefully we
there
can
are.
reveal soon.
You know,
Um,
I want to get Miles and I'm sorry, the Dutchman's name escapes me right now.
Anton.
Anton, um, because they got to meet at Indianapolis last year at the NHRA Nationals, and that was because of Lex June. Lex
Correct.
being from the Netherlands, Lex reached out to us years ago, saw what we were about, and wanted to involve us in his race team on getting veterans and first responders, A, to the track, but B, to say, hey, I want to give back to you guys, and your never quit attitude fits perfectly with us. And Lex met this man that was happened to be walking through Indianapolis during the races. Him and Miles got to meet. They spent the day at the track together. I'd really love to hear about that story and what they had to talk about and their interactions with each other. So yeah, that'd be a great little talking point to have on there next week. Let's see if we can
Yeah.
make that work.
Yeah, and Link in the background is just sending us things through our message, through Teams that are again, thank you, Link. He's back there behind the scenes just doing stuff, man.
Oh, look at him out. He's just throwing us better side photo.
Yep.
You tough guy. That's pretty cool, man.
Yep. Yep.
I like that one. So we'll
Yep.
download that right now and we'll put that bad boy up like this. So this is what Josh does, the man behind the camera, the wizard, as you will. Just kind of chimes in and makes us new pictures.
Yep. Hey,
Look at
this will
that.
look better. Hey, try this. Hey,
Hey,
try
look at
that.
that. Yeah, we're gonna have to take my name off of this thing if you're on here all the time.
It doesn't matter to me, man. You know that.
I know. We were just looking for something to throw up there. Thank you, Link. That looks great. Really
Yep.
appreciate that. What else did he send us here? I got
Just
some more
some,
pictures. Yep.
yeah, just pictures of Lex June, Mike
Hmm.
Harmon. Just and it's just cool, man. That to have these partners that truly understand it. They're not sure everything is money based. It is. You
It
can't lie
is.
about that. It just is. But in return, what the veterans, first responders, their families get out of these events, these activities, we don't ever consider it a sponsorship. We consider it a partnership
Right.
because of what they're able to do on their end for us to keep things cost efficient, maximizing our efforts,
Hmm.
all of those things. And again, it just does not happen without people that we have around us. It just does not.
It doesn't. There's so many people involved, and we'll never be able to name them all.
No.
Right? Who've contributed over the last 10 years and who continue to contribute now. And the Muskingum watershed here with Atwood Lake, Leesville Lake. They put on a music festival last year. They called us out and said, "Hey, we'd like you to be the charity of choice." And it was some work for us, but man, what a partnership! It rained all day. But we got to hang out with Joe Nichols and Travis Denning. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, just what an opportunity! They come and had some bourbon at the trailer and talked about Save 22 and what we do and exchange number. I mean, just it's Al Unser Jr. Al Unser Jr. and I had a meeting together because of Save 22. Right? I
Um,
mean, just you and Jelly Roll,
Emmett Smith.
Emmett Smith wearing the number 22. You got to give him a coin. That's
Yeah. And he stopped and actually talked for a few minutes. He had his handlers around him. And when I walked up, I kind of got the step back and the
hey,
look. And I kind of showed what I was doing and, showed the coin and the business card and, having a conversation with Emmett and him, thanking us, for our service and what we're doing and continuing on and hope to see us again at the track. Never got close enough to Jordan, couldn't get there, tried, couldn't get there. The answer is no unless you ask. I always say that,
hey,
but
you know what? I'll
just
be sure to throw a couple coins and cards in my pocket this year. Maybe I'll get close to him. We'll see what happens.
and because of Mike Harmon, because of what that team did for us in NASCAR,
Right,
led us to these other opportunities that are coming up. Like we're having teams approach us and drivers approach us about what we can do, what they can do to help us
right.
spread the word. So, things are changing and it's scary. It's
It is.
humbling.
It's
It's
exciting.
it's exciting. It's all these things to be able to have like again 10 years of doing this. It's just
Hmm.
going on and on. And Tom says popped about Tony Stewart. And he's another one that Lex June and Gerda, especially Gerda, has a very good relationship with Tony. They talk a
Yes,
lot at the track.
a
They
lot.
talk a lot.
Tony's a
Um,
racer's racer. I love
yeah.
Tony. Tony's a
And,
racer's
and and the
racer.
conversation we were able to have with him at
Hmm.
Vegas was phenomenal. All these drivers, John Force, Clay Milliken, you could go
Yeah,
on and on. That Lex will literally walk you up, say, "Hey, Clay, come here a minute." Clay will come over and goes, "Hey, this is Albert from Save 22. He's got something to talk to you about," and walk away.
yeah. Bye. See ya. Here,
The,
it's on
the
you,
cat will
bro.
walk away and leave you there. And I'm
Like
like,
Lex.
Lex,
What?
come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, come on. We're going to go have dinner with Antron Brown. Like, let's
Right.
go over here and see him.
I'm gonna go do
What?
what?
We're going to do what?
What?
Yeah,
What?
let's go talk to him. And I'm like, And those are the type of people you want with you, right? You
We're
want
getting
those
there.
people with you that see the picture outside of our name is on a car, or our name is on a poster, our name's on a billboard, or you want people that are going to promote that are going to promote what you do, that are truly pushing the cause, not
Mhm.
necessarily what we can do, but the cause. Like, hey, look, these guys are out here, they can help, these people can help, they know somebody, they can, we can do all of these things. And it's just like, to sit here and hear myself say it, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool we've come this far.
Can't believe we're talking that about that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Never thought we'd be the ones that are talking to these people about it,
No, and
right?
we are so much bigger than what we give ourselves credit for too.
Right.
Meaning our reach, our community, our coalitions, our partners, all of those people. Yeah, and Tom's right, I can remember, I can't, it was like, maybe 3-4 years ago. We were with Mike Harmon, and he was gracious enough to put us on the hood of the car.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
big sticker on the hood of the
Big
car.
sticker.
And it was on for several weeks. And, seeing it making laps and seeing that,
Right.
and then in Vegas, hearing Alan Reinhart over the loudspeaker talk about, here's Lex June. He just ran a 3. I think he had a top qualifying run for about 4 runs,
He
but he
did.
had it. He
He
had it.
had it. Yep.
To hear Alan Reinhart say, Lex June, and talk about his story, and then all the sponsors, and, they're panning to the car, and there's the logo, and they stop on it. And Alan Reinhart's going, Save22.vet. This is an organization. He starts talking, and like, I'm looking around going, like, is this real? Like,
Is this really happening?
right. And it's so
Yeah.
many of those things that have happened,
Right.
like Coastal Carolina football games. Now they see
Yes.
us on the sideline, and now the players are starting to come up.
Yeah.
Hey,
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 I
when
want to
you,
give a shout out to Coastal Carolina too, because last week they shared Tuesday Talk on their website. So thank you, Coastal Carolina football, for sharing Tuesday Talk's link last week, and that was pretty
that's
cool.
awesome too. And just the family atmosphere there at the football stadium. They're all about family, football family, football family, football family, right? And you show up and you're treated as such, which is so cool, man. And again, it's just
It's humbling because it's what we do for everybody else, and we're not
right.
used for somebody else doing it for
Yep.
us.
Yep.
And I
So
mean that's the bottom line. That's what it
yeah.
is. And
Yeah.
we don't hear it. We don't see it in ourselves. I told you what Bobby's always said to me, and you've said it, and we've said it to each other all the time. We
Yeah.
don't see in ourselves what others see in us.
Right.
And I'm okay with that right now.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it. I'm okay with where I'm at. I'm okay with doing what we're doing, and I don't want the big arrogant ego. No, this isn't about that. This is just letting you. I don't want somebody to feel like I felt when I put that gun in my mouth.
Yep.
I don't think there's any reason to ever feel that way.
No.
I realize now that what I was feeling was temporary, like
Yeah.
very, very, very temporary,
Yeah.
right?
And
And it
and
and it was a misjudgment of thought in my own head is all it was.
yeah. And
Yeah.
we just lost a vet down here that was involved in the car community. And it was kind of frustrating for me because I'm much like you. I don't want to see anybody be in that spot where they're taking those pills, chasing them with liquor to the point where they're just so numb they're drooling.
Yeah, and
Right.
that's what we both did.
Right. And to know that there was a vet struggling, and to know that I'm here, to know that
Mhm.
Chuck is here, Junior's here, like Chris Aranda, like Scott, like we have resources, we can work together, we can
Mhm.
get you what you need, right? And to know that this individual felt that alone, that lost, that he
Mhm.
drove to the back of the VA in front of the
Mhm.
cameras, and that's where it happened.
Right.
You know, I'm much like you. I don't want to see somebody get there. So if that means me staying on a podcast for 2.5 hours, if that means me calling an individual every night at 8:30 to make sure they're good or shooting them a text, I'm going to do it. I'm going to
Right.
continue to do it no matter what. So I just, yeah, it's a lot.
You said yesterday, it's never work if you do what you love, and
I did.
this ain't work.
It's not
This ain't
work.
work. This ain't work. This is I get to talk to you for 2 hours or however long we have, and we get to bring people on, and we get to discuss our shit,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
we've said before, and it's on there. Josh brought it up. It's on the logo. If you're struggling, let's talk.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what we're doing. And
Yep.
sometimes we are going to be struggling, and sometimes I'm not going to want to be on here, and you're not going to want to be on here, or it's going to be a great weekend, or it's going to be a crummy day, or whatever.
Yep.
But you know what? You got to put it all out there. It's not
Yep.
all going to be great.
Yeah.
It's not. It's going to suck, right?
Yeah.
But that's part of being human.
Right.
You know. You know. Listen to Shinedown song. Part of being human, and just listen to the words.
Yeah.
It's true, right? It's all part of being human.
At least you're not
It
having me
is.
listen to Nickelback.
Oh, come on. What's wrong with Nickelback, dude? Why doesn't anybody like Nickelback? I love Nickelback. What's wrong with Nickelback?
I love what Link just said. Life is no sunshine, even plants grow in the darkness to grow.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
my
And you
mom's
you can feed shit to mushrooms too, and they'll grow.
yeah,
So
and my mom's favorite flower was the lotus because it can grow in mud, dirt, sand, doesn't matter. Some bitch will just keep growing and popping up, right?
right. So as long as we keep growing, right, that's part of it.
Throw mud, throw dirt, doesn't matter. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep doing what we do.
I'm gonna keep going.
Yep.
I'm gonna keep going. Seasonal depression. You guys had a little bit of that the other day with snow for 2 days, right? And you thought it was really cool. Trish and I were talking that the snow just melted today for the first time in 5 weeks, maybe. So you can get pretty yuck. You can get pretty down and out. But what did I do during those 5 weeks? Well, I cleaned up my basement. I redid a floor. I did a wall. I did a lot of little stuff, right? To
Yeah.
keep you occupied, right? If I'm going to be tired, I want to be tired from doing something, right? So again, it's what your balance is. What is your fix? What is your fun? What makes you happy,
Right.
right?
Yep,
Let's
for
get on
sure.
it. Let's get on it. Al, I want to end this thing, I think, for the day.
Yeah.
We got some planning to do. We got a 2 o'clock meeting to get on, you and I,
And I
and
gotta
we're
get
gonna
on
reach
the
out next.
yep. I gotta
Yeah,
get
you got
on
to
the
get on the
road.
road. Hey, next week, Tuesday, 10 o'clock. Maybe we'll have Miles on. Maybe we won't. Maybe it'll be Al. Maybe it'll be me. We don't know yet. But hey, join in next week at 2 o'clock, at 10
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah, at least join in and we'll see what happens. Might get a replay. Don't know yet.
Hey, and if you got somebody on here you want to hear, email the show. Tell us who it is. We'll make the contact.
Yeah.
Send me the contact information. We'll reach out. We'll get them.
Yep.
Right? I'm pretty confident in that.
Yep.
All right.
We
So
can
listen,
at least
guys,
try.
we can at least try. Email the show. Excuse me. Email the show Tuesday talk at save22.vet for more info. Hit info at save22.vet. Go to the website save22.vet. You can sign up for the hike, volunteer. You can order your merch, all that good stuff. And if all else fails, dial 988 and hit 1 for the Veterans Crisis Line. Find that individual that you can talk to at 3 o'clock in the morning, regardless of what it is. And if you are struggling, remember, let's just talk about it. We'll get through it together. Thank you, Albert, for being here. Thank you, everybody who participated. Week 3 down. Let's see where we go next. Take care.